Hey beloveds, this is Yemaya, Renuka, the Embrace.life. Welcome to May Gray in Santa Barbara. It's a thing. We have May Gray and June Bloom. And I really pray that every one of you has access to a place in nature that can rejuvenate you, that you can tend for. That's my deep prayer. If every being on this planet had such a place to regenerate, to feel the healing of Ma Gaia, that will be a big difference on our beloved planet. Today I wanted to talk about flow, and not so much about the cosmic divine flow, but knowing our own flow. Know your flow. As I'm surrendering by the river, I just personally took a deep dive in for the last 3 days. Some of you know that I've been dealing with the grief of losing one of my dearest beloved ancestor, elder. And I was so busy the last couple of weeks, with new clients and, growing the embrace, and also not feeling ready to feel. That's my permission to feel became a permission to numb for a bit, until there was a window of 3 days where I could just dive in and let the morning take me over. And I just popped out of that. Someone was asking me, how are you doing? How are you feeling? And my true answer was that, I'm just really flowing with my own river. And there is such a sweet delight that comes with life experience and maturity of really knowing what you need when you need it. Knowing the balance of when it's time to push and force a bit, like you're going in the rapids, and you have to, take your paddle and really be in action, and then knowing when it's time to just go and let the water just carry you, and let yourself dive into the depth of your soul and heart. And I think sometimes, when we don't have the experience of time, life has to bring us some wake-up calls, like if we're not listening to the subtle rhythm of our inner journey, it can come like pretty harsh wake-up calls. So I just want to encourage you to look at that and to really start knowing when. Also, one of my favorite subjects, when are you in your masculine and when are you in your feminine? When are you receptive to the natural rhythm of life, and when are you, forcing your way through? I wonder if there's anything else I wanted to tell you on that. I think that's what it is right now. I'm going to pull cards for us. Yippee! So what is the challenge of this week, meaning the opportunity for growth? Oh, 2 came at once. Oh, how interesting. Because so we got Daughter of the Phoenix and Shining Lotus. I was listening to another mentor yesterday, and she was addressing how we don't have to touch bottom sometimes to spring all the way back up. And I feel like it's really at different times of our journey. When we are new, really looking at digging into the roots of our restriction, our limiting belief patterns, our emotional limiting patterns, then it is important to let ourselves going all the way down to the bottom, grab that, and then you can push yourself from the bottom to the top. But once you've been through those cycles enough time, you don't need to really let yourself go all the way to the bottom before rising up. And I like her version of it. My version of it is, and that I deepen into our programs, is that we don't have to be addicted to our phoenix rising cycles. It's after a while you know how to die gracefully and know how to rise from your own ashes. And there comes a time where there is perhaps no need to do that anymore, but there is still a part of us healers, visionaries, warriors, teachers that are so used to that cycle that we let ourselves go in there or bring it in toward us. And that's something I like to go deep into in some of the programs we're offering now at the Embrace. So this week we have Daughters of the Phoenix and Shining Lotus, which is about the beautiful blooming of the lotus once we have really sifted and nourished ourselves with the mud of the challenges, the opportunities for growth, the wounds. And on the other side with the animal cards, we do have still in terms of they come by two today. Bat and squirrel. We've had those in the last month. Bat and squirrel. So bat is about rebirth. Squirrel is about gathering the tools that we need for our next part of the journey. So I'm going to pick the sweet medicine cards in response to those, and then we'll have a deeper reading on that. Sweet medicine, blossoms of the sky dancer. Blossom of the sky dancer, trusting Kuan Yin gift, and her bestowing upon you the sweetness of compassion and forgiveness and trust with the blossoms that are falling from the sky. And geese passing through. Sweet medicine. Okay, we've had those also. I think not long ago. We got Spider and the Unknown. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is for this week, I feel like it's a gathering of all the tools we have accumulated over our lifetime. And some of you, are in your 20s and some in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. So, bringing all this together and looking at what am I going to create. We just had the middle point between spring equinox and summer solstice. So, and we also have just about almost a week ago now, just a few days ago, we had the new moon in Taurus. So I feel like, okay, what is your medicine specifically? Yours. What have you transformed? What have you alchemized? And what are you going to create with it now? So with the unknown, we have this vast play field, this vast empty canvas. And how are you going to weave all your pieces together? I feel like Spider brings a piece of integration, of bringing many pieces together. I'm going to pick two more cards, one in each deck. Horse. Power. It seems like a powerful time is afoot. Yeah, and that's too. Also the Empress of Pearl, Empress of the Pearl. She's like, the oysters, taking the sands, taking the difficulty and just really made it this beautiful, beautiful pearl, this beautiful offering to the world. So, again, to review, I feel like this is really a week to take time, take time by the river, take time with your own flow, and spend some time really integrating, alchemizing, synthesizing, the gift that you've acquired through your lifetime, and looking at what you want to create, in the next journey. Perhaps look at a 3-month journey, perhaps till midsummer point. What does want to be birthed from you with your gift, and bring the next delivery in your life purpose, in your beautiful soul, in your beautiful gift that you want to share with all of us. If you like those, want to get them a little bit earlier, if you're catching us from the Mahalo Mondays newsletter, if you want to get those videos sooner, you can join us on Facebook at the Embrace Deep Feminine Action Group. If you want to get free gifts, then you can go to the embrace.live, sign for the newsletter that you'll receive on Monday once a week, and then you'll get a beautiful sound healing chakra journey video that I've used for almost 30 years. That was one of the first tools I was gifted by one of my teachers, and Renee Rosenkrantz. It's based on Tibetan Buddhism, beautiful chanting that really help you go deep, deep, deep inside in the swirl of abundance, of information and everything that we have in our lives these days. Many blessings. Aloha.